In this episode, we check out a version of Pac-Man you've probably never seen. I try my hand at making my own sound effects. There's a sneak preview of our brand new website. And I check out an adult magazine for camel enthusiasts. Hello, Happy New Year. It is me, it is Jace at Retrogames, slightly subdued for the new year. Happy New Year to you all, 2025.
Happy New Year, it's February, mate.
Is it me, or has this last 25 years just flown by? I remember the millennium, we're talking about millennium bugs and planes falling from the sky. That seems like last Tuesday. What is going on? Quarter of a century, we just ticked by. I guess the next quarter of a century, are we going to make it to the next quarter century? I don't know. We're all getting to that age. Us retro gamers, we are not getting any younger. Anyway, stop rambling, Jace. You've already started rambling. You put off any new people who are watching. And I thought, well, there might be some new people watching. A new year. Let's see if I can maybe enlighten them about what we do and who I am and what's the point of watching this.
Oh, do enlighten us.
Okay, so I am Jace. I have been collecting video games since back in the 80s. I always wanted to keep hold of everything that I bought to play. This is a home video of my collection from back in 2004.
This is Daddy's games room. I'm not allowed to play with any of these toys. These are lots more games that I'm not allowed to play with.
So my collection was absolutely got crazy, and I suddenly thought in the early 90s, I wonder if more people collect video games like I do. And eventually that culminated, that's a good word, culminated in me making my own magazine, which I made in 1995 because I also wanted to be a writer about retro gaming. I advertised it, I sold games in the back of it, and I invented a few words.
I just got some words for you, fam.
I'm quite famous for inventing a few words. I'm the first person to invent the word Retrogames. Okay, and you think, oh, come off it. No, I'm the first person to publish the word Retrogames, and not just in our own magazine, but also in our adverts from the 90s. And also Retrogamer, the first person to publish the term Retrogamer. So I know you think, oh, I'm a retro gamer. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. You just nicked my word. You just nicked my word the whole time. Conceited, arrogant. No, I desperately am trying not to be. But it's just fact. It's just fact. We were the first ever retro games company. And anyway, so now there's retrogames.co.uk. It's a massive site, the biggest site in the world for video games. I hope, with over 30,000 items for sale. Now, because of that, I get loads of stuff in and I get loads of interesting games and I talk about those on the channel. And I don't know why it's never taken off.
Would somebody get this deranged man a mirror?
I just think factually, the reason why you should watch me, stop it, Jace, you're ruining your life. The reason you should watch this is because it's my job. So for 30 years, yes, this is our 30th year since Retro Games started, it's my daily job. So like you know, whatever you do in the, you know, in your accounts office or whatever, and you're an expert at, I don't know, adding up numbers or, you know, collating things. Well, my job is pricing and sorting video games. For 30 years I've done that as my daily 9 to 5. So surely I must have seen and know more about games than anyone else in the world. Well, certainly British games. I'd say maybe American games, you know, that we might not say. I'm not a total expert on games of the world, but I am pretty well knowledged. So that's one reason to watch the show. Another reason to watch it is because it's a bit of fun. Now there is some characters and they're a bone of contention.
Oh yeah, my Darren's got one of them. He keeps asking me to touch it.
Yeah, so I like to keep it fun. I like to have my characters, they're just a little bit fun. They are not AI. Oh, I hate the AI characters, you ruin it. No, they're not AI. They're just filters. They're filters. It's my face. I'm still doing their voices. I'm doing the moving. They're just filters, the same as filters have been around forever. I don't think filters are AI, are they? You can't say filters are AI if I'm using a filter with a funny face to do a character. No, it's not. Anyway, moving on. Some retro games news.
Tell me the retro games news.
Yes, I'm excited to tell you about the new website. Here we are, 30th year, and we've got a massive year ahead because we are going to ditch our old website now. A boner can tell, a lot of people are put off by it. It went live in 2009, and doesn't it look it? It does a bit, doesn't it? It does look dated. At the time, in the late 00s, 09, 08, 07, people wanted quirky websites. They wanted things to look like the sort of based on what they were looking for. So that's why it looks like a big LCD game. There was a point, and at the time it was amazing and everyone loved it. And yes, because our old site before that was pretty basic, pretty simple. So yeah, that site went live 2009, so that is a long time. That is 16 years of the same website being live. There's lots of advantage to a website. We've never had any advertising. We never advertise, we never bombard you with any ads for anything. Only our own products that you will ever see on there promoted. And also, it's got loads of functionality that modern websites don't have, like the wish list, the permacarts, the bonus point system, all those things, which, you know, they were state of the art back then. Our old website is written in an old language. They don't even write websites in the same language as our old site anymore. It's written in Perl. And if you're a web developer, you'll know that's pretty old then. Yeah, it is pretty old, but it still works and it's still brilliant and it's still going to keep us going until the new one goes live. But now, finally, let me unveil a preview, a little preview of what the new Retrogames website looks like. So here it is then, this is the brand new Retrogames website. Yeah, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? It looks familiar, but it's also brand new. Some very interesting placeholder graphics, yeah, for we will buy your games and sell your tech. They're just temporary. We've got this big row of manufacturers. You can click on those and get straight to the sections. Not many products here yet. Just a handful to allow us to test functionality. But let me click on this item. We've got this Atari 600 here. And there you have it. That is what our new listings look like. No more black writing on a grey background. Lovely, clear text. All the photos, you can click on the photos, zoom them up, use the arrows at the left and right to go between the photos. Now this is a dynamic website. The shape of the text and the photos will change according to which device you are on. If you are viewing on your tablet or your phone, it will look the right size on the page. Now this is the all new account dashboard where you can check all your orders, change your address details. But even better than that, you can check out your bonus points, try and save up for something. The most exciting new function though is this. The stock notification page allows you to add hundreds of games from the site which are out of stock and then automatically get emailed when they come back in. Even if you don't end up buying them from us, I think this is going to be a great space to keep a full list of all the things you're looking for your collection. Just flicking through a few of the categories which will have proper thumbnails, but look at this. This is an item which is out of stock. It is very clear that this is out of stock from the red banner on the thumbnail. Just like on the current site, this is a big deal. I hate sites where you have to click on the item to find out they're out of stock, don't you? So it's all pretty new and exciting, and I think this is going to be brilliant for mobile phones because our site's always been a bit of a struggle. We have a separate version of the site that appears on mobile phones and it's never been as good. You can't search sold items on it at the moment and you can't go through the categories very easy. So yeah, there is lots of issues with the mobile version, but this version will work on all hardware the same, which I think is something that's been holding us back, and hopefully we can take more payment options. There's going to be other advantages, but the massive thing that's been really hard to do, because obviously our inventory is 72,000 items, about over 250,000 photos on our website. That is how huge it is. So bringing all that across to a new site is a massive undertaking. But we've also managed to bring over all the customer accounts. So if you have an account on the old site, you will still be able to log in under the same details on the new site, and this is a big thing. Most people make a new site, most companies have a new site, the old details are out the window. You have to make a new account, it's a hassle, but no, everything is coming across, including bonus points. The bonus points are staying. So yeah, it's exciting. It will continue as normal if you use the website. A lot of you will know the website. I do think this, I think if you are a retro gamer, if you call yourself a collector of video games, surely you must know the website by now. I mean, it's been live since 1998. Even if you hate it, even if you hate the website, even if you hate me, even if you hate people selling games, you must have looked on it, because I mean, that inventory of 70,000 items, even if you're looking for gap things, oh, I wondered what that looked like, or what, because over the 30 years, all those items are all there. So you can check out what they look like. Some of the photos on the website are the only ones that exist online of those particular items. So it's a brilliant place just to browse, even if you never intend to buy anything, or if you hate us. So I'm thinking, if all of the retro gamers at some point in the last 25 years have checked the Retrogames site, then this is a massive deal for the entire retro gaming community, isn't it? I found a game that I like. It's got a really good vibe. You ride around on a bike, and then you take to the skies. A magic flying machine. Fly to the edge of a screen. Why is everything green? Now, before I get on to the games, I am going to show you some rare games today. That's what we generally do. We show you rare games that you can't find, really unusual things, exciting things that get me all excited, because I am passionate about video games, obviously. But before we get to that, I thought I would talk about me, because this is apparently a thing about YouTube that a lot of people miss. They want reality, and I'm very hyper. Oh, excited. And I think you miss the fact that actually I'm a real person. I'm not just a presenter. You know, I thought I'd tell you about me. So I am 53. So that's I'm the same age. We're all very similar age. You know, my first ever games machine was a Binatone, the orange front Binatone Pong, about 1977, 78, I think. Then it was in the Atari, handheld games, until I get ZX81s, came into school. I thought I'm going to cover this. This is a big year, 30th year of retro games. It could be the last. So I thought I'd do some features later on in the year, maybe about my history of gaming and what a lot of people have been doing this. A lot of the retro gamers have been talking about their console list, and I was very lucky. I always was trying to make money, always selling stuff and trying to negotiate, and so I actually had a lot of the machines. So actually, I'm probably like the luckiest gamer from the 80s, because I had both an Atari ST and an Amiga, and I think not many people did. I had both a Spectrum and a Commodore 64. Yes. Oh, I hate him. I don't blame you. But anyway, personal stuff I was going to talk about. So yeah, I am married. I have a genius wife. She is one of the leading experts in the country on palliative care. Now that's helping people to die.
Keep it light, Jace.
So we had lots of lovely conversations after tea about all the people she's helped die. Fantastic job. You're very worthy. You know, brilliant. NHS, hats off. All that. Bang your saucepan. I love it. I have four children, 2 boys and 2 girls. My youngest is 16, my eldest is 27, so that's quite a range. I know I'm lucky, not everyone's been able to have a family of their own, and I love being a dad. Being a dad was a big thing for me. So I thought, yeah, I'll just talk about me, so yeah, being a dad's a fantastic thing. You will remember Izzy, she came on the Jace in Japan show. Yes, there's a new series of that coming later this year. The tickets are bought. Yes, I'm so excited. So I can't keep it in. I can't keep the excitement in. Yeah, but even though retro gaming has become my life, it is my job. It is my full-time, you know, what I do, non-stop, buying collections, selling collections, listing, testing, talking about it on these videos. I am a multifaceted person. We all are, aren't we? I don't just do this. I have a big passion for music. You know, I was a massive record collector back in the day, but I'm also a musician. All the music that you've ever heard in any of the shows was by me. So I wrote all the theme tunes, I've done all the music. I am a songwriter. I've given away my albums before. I've written 11 albums of songs.
Why are you telling us this? Are you terminally ill?
I'm also a bit of a composer. I'm still trying, here I am, this age, still trying to do a proper career change. I mean, I love retrogaming, but what I would really love to do is to be writing soundtracks to TV or film. Because I compose interesting music, like to convey a mood. And you'll recognise some of this. Regular viewers will recognise some of this music from the shows. Things like this. Yes, and you're thinking I just found... No, I didn't find it. I wrote that. I did it. It's me. It's me playing it. It's me composing it. Other things like this. This one, this is like the sad one. When I'm talking about something sad, I always stick this in the background. I do have a passion for conveying a mood with music. It's like turning things. Yeah, you know, those who watched the Christmas special, and I talked about the theme tune to Tales of the Unexpected. One of my, it's like, oh my god, that jolly sad. I'm always working on projects. None of them ever succeed. But if anything ever gets close to it, I shall talk about it on the show. I thought I shall talk about other stuff about my life and not just retro gaming. I just thought it can't hurt, can it? Because I agree with this. I mean, I watch a lot of people's channels, and when they go off tangent, Ollie, 8-bit boy, he does this a lot. He goes off tangent, talks about his kids or his holidays. I'm kind of interested. Retro Bear, he barely talks about video games anymore. He only talks about, oh no, you know, what's happening at work, or his car's broken down again. Who else? Tetley, and I owe Tetley a massive apology. I missed him out of the Hardcore 44 list at the Christmas special. It's when we had an issue with James getting repeated, and it went over Tetley. It went over some others as well, but I can't remember who. So yeah, I felt bad about that. But Tetley, you're definitely in the top 5 Hardcore 44. But yeah, when they talk about their other things and what they do, and suddenly, you're more interested in them as a person, aren't you? You think, oh yeah, I can relate to you now. I can relate to, oh, you're a dad too. Oh, you know, and just think, oh. So I thought, well, why not? Now, my other passion, I know, hate people who have multiple passions. Do you know? Do you know Winston Churchill wrote a book about bricklaying? Yeah, I'll just put that there. You know, people who are great for one thing, they do also do other things as well. I mean, yeah, his passion was building things with bricks. Who knew that? You see? Well, you do know. You do know now. But yeah, so my other passion is writing, and now I obviously started Retrogames as a magazine, and I loved it. Again, at the time, you couldn't find a review of an old game, so I'm reviewing Commodore and Spectrum stuff, and just coming up with new opinions and new ratings and saying why this game is special. I mean, you take this stuff for granted now. I mean, obviously got the Retrogamer magazine, which I was slightly involved with at the very beginning. You know, these things are just normal now. Everybody's talking about every game. You can find a review of any game you can ever think of on YouTube. But back then in '95, no, you couldn't. It was all new, and it was exciting, and I loved the writing process. And it got me some jobs. I got to write, I had a regular column, a lot of people might know this, regular column, N64 magazine, Retro World, because I was always talking about old stuff. I wrote for PC Gamer, I wrote for PlayStation, official PlayStation magazine, I wrote for Edge magazine, which is where we placed our first adverts. It was pretty cool to actually be involved in writing. But the writing bug has never gone away. I still write. I have written 4 full-length novels and nearly 90 short stories. I love writing. I do love writing. So that's my other passion. So I've got my video games, I've got me composing and songwriting, and then I've got me writing. And I've been trying to make a success of either the music or the writing for 40 years. Yeah, 40 years since I was a kid. So I'm back in the day who's sending off C90 audio tapes to radio stations saying, please play this, play this, play it. Crazy. It's a massive journey. And I'll get to the point, you know, this age, I'm probably never going to succeed at those things at all. I didn't stop. I mean, I've written to every single agent in the UK trying to get them to take my books. My novels. Yeah, no joy, nobody's interested. A couple of lovely comments which I've kept, but nobody ever wanted to, you know, take me on as a client or get anything published. So, you know, it's sad. It's sad. And I think I probably could get a book published if I wrote back about retro gaming, just because I was the first person to come up with the word and start the whole scene off. I mean, it's just a little thing. All right, just a little thing. I just started the whole scene off. All right.
What's new? Retrogames.
So this wouldn't be the Retro Game show unless I had some things to show you, and I do have some things to show you. I'm going to start with a couple of games. Does anybody remember this? Yes, awesome! Awesome! Isn't that an incredible piece of software? Isn't that an incredible title? Awesome! The audacity to call your game awesome. And at the time when this was released, it's an Atari ST game. It's by Psygnosis. Psygnosis were on a roll. They'd had so many hits. Shadow the Beast. Everyone was like, oh, what's the next release from Psygnosis? And when Awesome was announced and the adverts appeared in the magazines, everyone was so excited. Now, it's really hard to live up to this amount of hype. And I think Awesome is a great example of that. Calling the game Awesome was, oof, yes. But let's just have a little look at it. It's got quite an epic cover. It is a space shooter. I mean, it's got Xenon 2 vibes that were, you know, a huge hit at the time. Let's just open it up and show you the contents. I've got the lovely owl in the glossy box, and here we go. There we got what's underneath there. An owl, another owl, and then we've got the discs, and we've got the manual. No poster in this one. I think there was posters in some of them. The thing is, Awesome, as exciting as it was, and I remember being absolutely blown away by the intro to this game, and it doesn't look very good anymore. We've moved on so much that it's like, really? Just some digitised graphics. But let's just check out what Awesome is like. So here we go with that legendary Awesome introduction. Yeah, we've got spaceships, we've got planets, but we've got no sound. This is the strangest intro to a game I can recall. You've got all these fabulous digitised graphics, but they are lifeless. There is no sound on this intro, and it's not a bug. This was actually put out with no sound on the intro. I'll make some sounds for you. Here we go. We're going to do some shooting now. Oh,
You really think people are going to watch this?
yeah, big explosion. Yeah, what a lame intro. I can't believe it. Anyway, into the game proper. And it's one of those strange shooters which is multi-directional, a bit like Asteroids. You can tell by the few stars that are scrolling around in the background which direction you're facing in. The graphics are pretty good, but it's that other pet hate that we all detest it. There are no sound effects when you shoot. All you can hear is that music, and the music's good. The graphics of these asteroids blowing up is good, but you just want to hear some explosions and some fire. Now this separation takes me right back to Nichibutsu Mooncrester. Of course it does. It is brilliant. And then you turn like this and we go into a completely different section of game. It's like a 3D shooter. This kind of reminds me of those big bosses on Sega's Space Harrier. If only there were sound effects of maybe the monster screaming past your ears or your bullets making contact, it would make a big difference to this scene. Now there are also walking around on the planet stages. They're all a bit like this, on some kind of floating platform above the planet's surface. They're okay. I don't know. What do you think? Is this game really awesome? Or is this a massive trace description issue? Now you may have noticed we've been pretty Atari crazy in the last few months. We bought a huge Atari collection and we've just been going through it slowly, sorting it all out. Loads of Atari ST, Atari 800, Atari 400. So you're going to get dominated by Atari still for a bit further on, because there's so much exciting stuff that I'd never seen before. That I had to cover it in the shows, because it's just like, well, we might never ever see it again. We might never see it again. Someone's going to snap it up and you guys will never get to see it. So at least I'm documenting it for the record. Anyway, here's such a game. It's not as rare as some of the ones coming up, but it is Time Bandit on the Microdeal label for Atari ST. Time Bandit, and you think, well, Time Bandits, that's that Monty Python related Terry Gilliam film. This has nothing to do with that. This is completely cheeky, because that was Time Bandits. I mean, this is cheeky, yeah. Drop the S, we can get away with this, you know. Maybe we could have had Back to the Futures. It's a strange rule, but it seemed to work. Let's just have a look. Look at the cover. Now, I thought, well, this is nice. It's a bit inclusive. They've used someone on the cover who's got very short arms, but they haven't. It's just really odd drawing. No, it's not inclusive at all. It is just weird. It is a weird cover. I mean, what is that? It's like is that an arcade machine with an alien coming out of it? I guess that's inspired by Last Starfighter, the movie that was big at the time. On Microdeal label, we covered a lot on Microdeal, didn't we? Oh, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to play it in a sec. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, Microdeal and the whole Cuthbert saga, but they were big in the 16-bit era, particularly on Atari ST. More stuff for Atari ST than there was for Amiga. They're lazy. I mean, yeah, okay, we've got the... Just a little additional note, you can see underneath the Time Bandit logo, there is another label. Yes, this is reused stock for the game Leatherneck. Yeah, cheeky. The disc and the manual, but look at the manual. It's just a standard cover, and if I show you the quality of the print in here, it's pretty much homemade on their printers in the office, I think. Based in Cornwall. I do love the British gaming scene. I think it was the best in the world. I'm so lucky to have been born here, because I don't think you know, even in America, you didn't get the variety of small companies releasing weird games like this. Let's check out Time Bandit for Atari ST. Time Bandit. Now, the first thing that strikes you is, yes, you've got the name of the game and the creator and the graphics programmer on the game the whole way through. It literally is an excuse to have the game running in half a screen. But look at the game. It's a gauntlet style shooter. I mean, this particular level is brilliant. The maze kind of appears as you walk around. You can't really see where you're going, so things jump out at you in the dark. It's pretty ingenious. Now, this is a game packed full of different game worlds. This is like a space station, more familiar looking game. Reminds me of Planet of the Robot Monsters. Shooting things, collect the cups, get the scores. Now this level, this is like Pac-Man. Absolutely brilliant. A human doing Pac-Man, and of course they are ghosts, aren't they? They're the ghosts. They're like hollow men collecting the power pellets. I mean, I don't have to explain to you what Pac-Man is. Let's go up here. Yeah. Oh, let's see if we can just eat one of the ghosts just to prove it. Yes, Pac-Man, I told you. And this is the bit that goes between the worlds, and we've come into what is this, Gladiator, Colosseum world. All these people. The game's the same. I mean, you're still in the middle shooting things. Now, this is my favourite level. This is Egypt. And I should bring your attention to the multiplier. All retro gamers love score multipliers. And you can see it's got different names at the side there. Daring, it goes average, brave, fearless, foolhardy. I just like the fact they gave it a name rather than just ×4 or ×5. Now, I do like to save up papery stuff for the Retro Game shows, because they're a little bit more boring, maybe a bit boring for some people. It's not games, but for me, the ephemera, the bits and pieces, the posters, the little notes, they are part of the games industry that is lost, and you know, resurrecting this stuff, keeping this stuff is important to me, and I like to share it when I can. Okay, so there's all the excuses done, and this is a compliment slip. We talked about compliment slips, I think on the Christmas show. I had some compliment slips, didn't I? Well, here's another one. This is from Ocean Software, though. An Ocean Software compliment slip, and it's got a message on it. It's got a message. I found this in a copy of a game. Let me read this out. Ocean, with compliments, please find enclosed a new copy of the product that you returned to us. This has been tested in our programming department and is found to run and load perfectly. If you have any further problems, do not hesitate to contact one of our technical advisors. In other words, you sent your game back and it worked. There's something wrong with you, not us. I just know, it's brilliant that it's got kept. It could have been just so easily thrown out. Ocean, legendary label. I think that's a proper piece of history. Now I've got more. What about this? This is a letter. It's a letter. Similar theme. It's a letter to Psygnosis. Pasiganis. I'll just show you there. Look, that's the proper heading. It's a proper letter. Now, I'll read this out. Dear Sir, R.E. Lemmings. Unfortunately, we at Psygnosis no longer produce software for the Atari ST. Wow, okay, this is 1998, so it's quite late. I have included the remaining Lemmings stock that we have for the ST in the hope that this will help with your problem. This is the rub. If not, then unfortunately there's nothing more we can do to help. That's from Joe Grant at Psygnosis Customer Service. I don't know, it's a little bit of history, it's another piece of history. A lot of people love the Psygnosis label, and I just think you see stuff like that, not thrown away, it's been kept in the game. Yeah, it's amazing, amazing.
Oh, he thinks letters are amazing.
Okay, now it's turning a bit. It's turning a little bit like Jim will fix it, but don't worry, there's no kids involved. I've got a letter. Now this was a letter. It was found in a game. I'm guessing it wasn't sent. It wasn't sent, but it is a letter from the guy that we bought. Sadly, he passed away, and we bought his Atari collection. And this letter. Well, I just thought I've got to read this out. This is another piece of history from Mr. Keyworth. Okay, dear Bitmap Brothers. It's a good start. It's a good start. Dear Bitmap Brothers, I feel after spending many hours on Chaos Engine for my 1040 STE, a bit more than a registration card is needed to express my appreciation and grateful thanks for producing such a superb piece of software. Thank you for continuing to support the ST, and in doing so, really showing what can be done with that computer. Now it carries on. It's 4 sides. I'm not going to read it all, don't worry. When I saw Zool, we know Zool. When I saw Zool on the Amiga, I wrote to Gremlin Graphics to ask why the ST couldn't have the game. The reply was, there isn't the speed available to make a good game of Zool possible on the ST, not even the STE. I'd like to see that letter. I'd like to see that reply from Gremlin. I feel like telling them to hand the project over to you so us ST owners can have Zool. He's going on about a different game. I mean, I know one, he didn't send it, but can you imagine the Bitmap Brothers, they're all sitting there around the breakfast table. It's like Sons of Anarchy, they're all sitting around the table. This letter came in, and it's like, what? The guy wants us to do Zool? That's not even a Bitmap Brothers game. Oh dear. According to my latest ST mag, Zool will be out for the ST by September 93. Wonder what aspects of the game will be missing. Back to Chaos Engine. A sequel is a must. There wasn't one, was there? There wasn't one, no sequel to Chaos Engine. He should have sent the letter. One low moan I do have, however, is that why after using the password for a new one-player game, cannot the player choose a different character? Getting to level 3 World 2, Steam, makes me realise the Preacher is not the best of companions. I mean, it goes into detail. It goes into detail about the game, but what a wonderful thing. I just think, wow, it's history, isn't it? It's history. People are so passionate about their games, they would write directly to the developers. Can you write to Shigsy and say, oh, hang on, I didn't like Mario's hat. Mario's got a new hat, get rid of it. Strange concept, but yeah, I loved it.
Please, Mr. Postman, use some discretion, disguise what's being sent. 'Cause my wife has no idea how much I've spent.
Now I'm going to finish this mammoth trawl by looking at this. Now it's a magazine, and you're thinking we've seen magazines, Jace. Magazines, they've been out for years. Yes, it's a magazine that I have sadly neglected. It is the magazine Your Computer is a multi-format magazine, and I was a Spectrum boy, Commodore 64 boy back then, so Crash and Zap were my go-to magazines. I collected them avidly. I loved them. But I missed out a lot of these multi-format, maybe the occasional CMVG, but I never ever delved into Your Computer. And it was only when this came into stock and I had a little flick through and I thought, what an incredible magazine. And I'm going to show you why. You can see I've got a few post-it notes sticking out the top. That's all the things I found that were interesting, and I'm hoping that you agree with me. So this is from December 1984. The cover looks very boring. It's got some jet fighters on. I mean, jet fighters aren't boring, Jace. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, it's mainly about the adverts. It has got so many more adverts than, say, the Crash and Zaps that we're more familiar with. Your Sinclair user and all stuff like that. They weren't as dominated by multi-format. They obviously didn't have multi-format adverts. So we missed out on a lot of the amazing things that came out. So I'm just going to show you. I mean, even the first page is a really interesting Ocean advert. But that's not what I'm going to start. I'm going to start with this. Now, this game is called Death Pit. Death Pit, and it's by Jarrell. It's by Jarrell, and it's for the Spectrum, and I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think we've ever had Death Pit in stock. I'm guessing it did come out. It looks fantastic, the screenshots look fantastic. But yes, if anybody wants to send me a copy of Death Pit, thank you very much. Wow, I mean, Jarrell, it's a major label, you know, Turbo Esprit, Saboteur. But Death Pit, no, I've never seen that before. Until I opened this magazine, I've got to say, this magazine really fired me up again about retro stuff, because I suddenly had that realisation. I thought I knew everything. I know so little. There is so much stuff yet to find, like Death Pit. That's not the only one. Right, let's move on to the next bit. Yes, now this was just, I don't know. This might, I'm all into this simulation theory, the Mandela effect. Now I remembered this differently. Okay, so this is a Firebird double page spread for their budget games, but look, £2.50. I remember Firebird games being $1.99. I'm sure that Firebird games are $1.99. £2.50. I don't remember a retail price £2.50 for a game. Maybe I'm just losing the plot, but I guess I'm misremembering. But yeah, £2.50 retail price. Weird. Okay, next, let me go to my next post-it note. Yeah, gets better. Oh, now these adverts. This is a core moment of our lives, and these were in Crash. It's the double page spread of Underworld and Nightlaw, and these adverts were put out maybe a year and a half before the games actually emerged, and they did not say anything. They're pretty pictures, but they did not convey the epic content that was on its way. We all loved Ultimate. We all, you know, we were all from Sable. It's because Sablewolf had really convinced us, oh my God, Ultimate really are pumping out great games every single time, that you just saw the logos and you're just desperate for the games. And no, as I always say, no release dates, no idea when these games were actually going to come out. So when they finally appeared and you've played Nightlaw for the first time, obviously absolutely blown away. All it did was like build up the hype even more for the next lot of games. And Alien 8 was basically a copy of Nightlaw, which was the next one. And it was a bit disappointing because we thought they were going to push more boundaries every single time. What they're going to do, get the Spectrums and walk around the room, I don't know. Anyway, it's such a beautiful double page spread to have both those games in the... I thought. Anyway, moving on. I've got a lot of pages. Not going through the whole magazine. I could go through the magazine. And what about this? This game is called Espionage. It's by Modular Resources Limited. Have you ever seen that? Now, this came out for the BBC. It came out for the Commodore 64, Electron, and the Spectrum. And I don't know, Espionage, I don't think I know it. I've definitely never seen that advert in my life. Get the mole before he gets you. Taking place on an oil rig. I mean, it sounds like a BBC drama. I like this mag as well. It's got ZX81 high-res listing. You can actually type in a program and get high-res graphics on a computer that is not capable of doing high-res graphics. Wow. Okay, moving on. There's more. There is more. What is this? What the heck is that? Gilbert. Now I know the game Gilbert based on that Gilbert from Drill, whatever it is, the kids cartoon game, like based on Kids TV. But what is this? Gilbert, an intriguing new game of strategy. I've never seen this. And you guessed it, it's for the Spectrum. It's for the Spectrum. It's a full page advert and it looks really fun. And it's just called Gilbert. And why have I never seen this game? I've been doing this for my whole life. I've been collecting since 1982 and I've never seen it. It's like, what? I know, I'm really desperate for a copy. And it's by Centresoft. Now, Centresoft was another name for US Gold. Like, you know, that was their distribution arm. But it's actually released on Centresoft label, but it's based in Brighton, so I think it's a completely different company. But yeah, amazing. That is amazing. That was worth the price of the magazine, isn't it? It is just a really lovely thing. A full page ad for Attack of the Mutant Camels. That is a beautiful thing. It's like a poster, isn't it? Commodore Classic now available for all Atari machines. That beautiful camel with his, I don't know what he's got a problem with his tongue. Or someone's putting a thermometer in there just to get his temperature. He's not been well, the camel. Moving on. What about this? It's these adverts. I don't think I've seen so many of these adverts. They appeared in this magazine, but they're different. Here we got a different. It's Wally Week, an advert for Automania, which was the first Wally Week game. But yeah, a full page ad for it. Wow. Moving on. Look at this. Now this is by Stone Chip Electronics. It is a replacement keyboard for the Spectrum. There were a lot of replacement keyboards because a lot of people didn't, believe it or not, people didn't like the rubber keys back in 1983, 84. They wanted a proper keyboard, like, you know. Well, here we go. This is like one, but it's a complete unit. You don't know taking your Spectrum apart. You literally open up the case, put your Spectrum inside and close the lid. But what I like about it, it's got, you plug in, there's a couple of wires to plug in, and it's got an amplifier, it's got stereo speakers built into the computer. I think that's pretty neat, isn't it? By Stone Chip Electronics. And it's got a load button and a save button, a slider. Come on, that looks like a pretty cool thing, isn't it? I think it's pretty nice. Moving on. Now, I'm not talking about the Speakeasy speech synthesizer, but what about these two games? And what an awful advert. But what? I Will Survive and The Survivor. They look like, I don't know, they look like games that came out of a nuclear war by Aztec Software in West Yorkshire. Again, Spectrum titles I have never seen. I don't know what I Will Survive rings a little bit of a bell, but wow, we always go on about back bedroom coders and all these lost games that nobody remembers. But we always think they're going to be little tiny block adverts like in the back that you didn't really see, you didn't really notice. But that is a proper picture of two games. You know, that's not obscure like that Gilbert game. That's a full page ad. Why the game only available through mail order, I guess. Why didn't we know more about it? And here's another one, and this one I've never seen this in my life. Again, for the Spectrum. Afghan Attack. Afghan Attack. What? What the hell is that? Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it bizarre? It's by Southern Software. I have seen stuff on the Southern. They've got a little bridge in their logo, you might remember. But I don't remember ever seeing that advert before. And I don't remember the game. It's an adventure. I guess it's taking place in Afghanistan. That's my guess. Okay, a couple more pages I have marked. Yes, here we have Mind Games. Now, you know Mind Games, I did them. Part of the Argos Press group. They're massive square boxes for American football. Give my regards to Broad Street. But there is games here I have not seen. What is that? Orion Quest. I've never seen it. Star Force 7. They're similar, big quest, big clam games. I think we've had that one, Quest for Eternity. But the other, that red one, I've never seen that in my life. That's on a major label. How can there be games on a major label I've never seen before? I mean, I deal with this stuff every day. Okay, one more page I have marked. Here we go, Adult Party Games. Now this is by PR Software. Now this is the kind of ad for the games that you don't find. Do you imagine? This is a back of the magazine special. Strip Poker, a classic adult party game for 2 to 10 players. It's not graphics then, you're basically just playing poker. It's a card game. Who may lose a lot more than their stake. Fully featured 5-card poker game, basic rules supplied with that little bit extra. But then there's this other game, Risque. I don't know these games, PR Software. They're rude games. New on-screen board game for 2 to 4. Very fun, very good friends. Revealing after-dinner frolics, fun dares, risks, and forfeits. I think, well, those are the kind of, the sort of different sort of magazine. You get like little adverts like that in the back. And I just thought, that was just strange. But overall, what an incredible magazine. Just packed full of tons of it. I mean, it's about 272 pages of lost items and things. I mean, I've seen people doing videos of Argos catalogues. Oh, look at the Argos catalogue from 1985. Yeah, but this stuff is stuff you would never find, you never know about. So yeah, different league to your Argos. Burn them all. Burn the old Argos catalogues. And yeah, and I really do recommend any issue. We've got a whole stack of these in Your Computer. What a classic magazine. Well now.
Oh, you naughty boy.
Yes! Thank you for watching another show. I apologise if it's been a bit crazy. I hope you saw some interesting games. I hope you're still enjoying this rubbish. Until next time, happy Retrogaming, Retrogamers!
Retrogames.